Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my live. I am Queen Lillie, and we are discussing Donald J. Trump. From the Epstein files to his cabinet, Bundy, Cash Patel. Even we're going to even hear something from Epstein's brother to tell his side of what he thinks what has happened to his brother. Um, we're going to get the point of views from different other content creators to give their point of views. And everything that I show you is fair use for educational purposes and research purposes. Also, great entertainment. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As you all are coming in, please hit that like button. And if you like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats, super stickers, and in my description, you will see my Venmo and my PayPal link if you would like to sponsor me, donate to me, give me a tip in that way. That would be great. And I am very, very, very grateful. So we got a lot to cover. As I stated, this is Life Under Trump, everything about Donald Trump, his cabinet members, the files, the EpiPen files, a lot to be covered. And we don't have any time to waste. So let me go ahead and get started because we have an hour. So let me go ahead and get started so we can have a great show. Hello, Queen Victorious One. How you doing, beautiful Queen? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a moderator today. I cannot make it without you, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Those of you just coming in, hit the like button, please. Again, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We are discussing Donald Trump and the Epstein files and more. Everything I show you is fair use, educational purposes, great research, and entertainment purposes. Hit that like button as you are coming in. Thank you for the likes that you all have given me thus far. Thank you. I'm going to take a sip of water right quick because I do so much talking and I've been out all day in this heat. I went to boat today. I forgot to tell you guys. Hold on. I got out today because remember I told you I was going to be a runoff vote. And I voted again for Keisha Waits, which, you know, she's in my magazine. She is running for public service commissioner. She won and they had to do a runoff because the other person had 41,000 votes. She had 57,000 and something votes. But because you have to have 50% plus one, so they had to do a runoff. I voted for her again, Keisha Waits. So if you're in Atlanta, vote for Keisha Waits. Get your vote in. Your vote counts. So we're going to go ahead and get started, y'all. Everything I share is fair use, educational purposes, research purposes, and entertainment purposes as well. I am here to make you smile, to make you laugh, and give you some great research. One moment. So I'm going to let you listen to Donnie Jr., what he has to say. Donnie Jr. is pretty much telling on his father. Let me know if you can hear me, Victorious One. Donnie Jr. is pretty much telling on his own father. So I'm going to play you this. And these are words that's coming from Donald Trump's son's mouth. His paper thin lips is telling on his father. Uh-oh. I didn't realize that it was on mute. Hold on.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, Bud? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right? How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one...
Poor Don Jr. He just never knows when to shut up. He's not the brightest one. It has been said he liked that nose candy. We seen him digging in his pockets, putting something on his gums when they was out at SpaceX. With this Trump family, you don't know, honey, you don't know what they're going to do. But he is pretty much throwing his father under the bus because your father is the reason that the list is not released. And you're saying they got something to hide. Well, baby, your father is the one hiding it. And when Epstein was done away with, your father was the one in the Oval Office and had much more to lose than anyone by the list being released or by Epstein telling the Fed something. Those of you just coming in, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We are discussing Donald Trump and the Epstein files. And inquiring minds want to know, why won't they release the files, Dunny? Why won't your cabinet, your person that you picked, Bundy, release the files? We want to know. There's no way for Dunny to continue to deny it when there's photos out there. They're not Photoshop. It's not AI, Dunny. It's you. And your wife is in some of the photos too. So I'm gonna play y'all this because Elon Musk feels the same way I do. Files are vanishing, accounts are being shut down. They think they can erase their crimes, but I have it all saved. Nothing can stop what's coming. That's what Elon Musk said. Hold on, I got you. Hold on. Let me turn the music off. I can't play music. But this is Elon Musk, and he's sharing his thoughts. He said, I have them saved. Look at the words. This is Elon Musk. So I'm going to read it to you again because Elon Musk is not scared of Donald Trump. I'm not scared of Donald Trump, Donald Trash Trump, and you're not scared of Donald Trash Trump. So he said the files are vanishing. Accounts are being shut down. They think they can erase their crimes, but I have it all saved. That's what Elon said. But nothing can stop what's coming. He says, watch closely, and we will be watching closely, and I'm going to be reporting about it.
Grow over Donald.
Hold on.
No, the fallout continues to grow over Donald Trump's cover-up of the Epstein files, and MAGA is getting pissed. You see, this was a top issue for MAGA, and they're taking this very seriously, with some actually blaming Trump himself, while others are trying to shift the blame to people around Trump. So this popular MAGA account posted this video of them burning their MAGA hat, writing, "It's officially over." And this got a whole lot of attention. And here was one of the top comments that person received. I'll let you read it for yourself, and you can see how they responded. By the way, for more news updates, please remember to add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you could just go through comment after comment and you see how pissed MAGA is, like this comment from Roseanne Barr. Yes, that Roseanne. "Mr. President, yes, we still care about Epstein. Is there a time to not care about? Read the damn room." This MAGA poster, Colin Rugg, wrote, "What a complete disaster." Jack Posobiec, who's one of the people invited to the White House who held up that Epstein binder, said, "We were all told more was coming, that answers were out there and would be provided. Incredible how utterly mismanaged this Epstein mess has been, and it did not have to be." Popular MAGA influencer DC Drano said, "It's a shameful chapter in our country's history." Cernovich wrote, "No one is believing the Epstein cover-up at real Donald Trump. This will be part of your legacy. There is still time to change it." Glenn Beck writes that Liz Wheeler is calling for Trump to fire Attorney General Pam Bondi over her handling of the Epstein case. This next one is from Trevian Cuddy. Trevian Cuddy was literally one of the co-defendants in the Trump Georgia case. Well, she wrote, "Trump protects the most evil amongst us. Never forget." Now I'll let you read what MAGA influencer Gunther Eagleman had to say over here. He also said, "Right now, my trust in government is at zero. On my desk and truck full is what we were told. The lies are blatant. Someone has some explaining to do. People have to go to jail." Laura Loomer is one of the ones blaming Pam Bondi, saying, "I hope Trump realizes what an effing liar Pam Bondi is. She is useless, covering for and never arresting criminals." Check out this MAGA influencer.
She will have to arrest Trump.
"F you, FBI director. F you, Dan Bongino. F you, FBI. F you, you effing C, Pam Bondi. And F each and every one of you who are bought and paid off scum who are protecting Epstein's clients." You see what she says there. This is a popular meme going around in MAGA circles. Pam Bondi holding the neuralizer from Men in Black, saying, "What list?" There's a whole lot more where that came from. MAGA is furious. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen them this upset over anything. They feel like they have been completely betrayed by Donald Trump and this administration. We're going to keep following it all, so make sure you're following our account and add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Subscribe to Midas Touch Network, you guys. When I tell you they're on top of their game, these attorneys, they are on top of their game. I learn a lot from them. MAGA is divorcing Trump. Not only is Melania Trump, has been said, allegedly want a divorce, MAGA wants to divorce Trump. They no longer want to affiliate with you. Everyone right now is looking at you as a loser You had a meeting with the African leaders, presidents of Africa, different countries in that continent, and you let out the rudest, stupidest things that a dummy could ever think of. Donald Trump is not smart. I was watching earlier, that has nothing to do with this topic with Epstein, but he said some of the stupidest thing, like black people don't supposed to have a brain. They can't be educated to speak well. He asked him, how did you learn to speak English so well? What education? Donald Trump, that president for Libya, wherever he's from, he is more educated than you. Honey, when I tell you them Africans are some of the smartest people, they make Americans look dumb. So watch your tongue, Donald Trump. Stop running your D-sucker so much because you don't know what you be talking about. And you make America look stupid and dumb like you. So I'm going to show y'all a YouTube video, and it's from Law and Crime, Fair Use. And it is Epstein's brother that tells all. He said it was a professional hit on his brother. Hold on. One moment. Let me take a sip of water, okay? Thank you. Those of you just coming in, I'm Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Just one moment. Yes, this is Epstein's brother you're going to listen to right quick.
I think once he was arrested, then the opportunity came up to sort of get rid of him.
He is one of the most infamous last names in recent history, Epstein. As more documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's alleged sex trafficking operation are unveiled, we sit down with his brother, Mark Epstein, to discuss what led to Jeffrey's death in 2019 and all the controversy surrounding it.
Hit the like button, please. Thank you.
Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So as you know, if you've been following us here on Sidebar, we have been closely following all of the latest document dumps in connection to the case of deceased financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, to be clear, this wasn't in regards to the criminal or civil case against Epstein per se. Rather, all of these documents being unsealed and released are in regards to a defamation lawsuit that was filed by Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre against Epstein's madam accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The court records are being unsealed on a rolling basis, released with John and Jane Doe's identified by their real names. This civil suit, which was settled out of court, happened a few years before Epstein's death in a New York jail cell. And that is what we want to talk about right now, his death. So, Epstein was at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York when he was found dead in his jail cell on August 10th, 2019. He was awaiting trial on federal charges that he sex trafficked underage girls. Epstein allegedly used part of a bed sheet tied to the bunk bed to hang himself. It's been called, quote, a perfect storm of screw-ups. During the night before Epstein's body was discovered, security cameras weren't recording. Epstein had been left alone without a cellmate despite orders from prison psychologists, and the two guards who were supposed to be checking in on him, they were apparently asleep. Guards Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, they were stationed about 15 feet from
I believe they were paid off, in my opinion.
Falsified records that they had completed required checks during the night. Both of them were federally indicted, but they struck deals that allowed them to admit guilt, and the charges would be dropped if they cooperated with the federal probe into Epstein's death. Now, the results of that probe were released in a 120-page report from the Department of Justice, which blamed, quote, long-standing operational challenges and also cited, quote, numerous and serious failures. Since then, rumors have swirled and conspiracy theories have persisted, with many people believing that Epstein, in fact, did not commit suicide and was instead killed because of the information that he might divulge about high-profile people. Now, in fact, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, he's been on a mission to find out the truth about what happened inside of that jail cell. And Mark actually joins us right now to talk about more of this. Mark, thanks so much for coming on. And just to let all of our viewers and listeners know, you have opted to not be on camera. You're going to respect that decision, but we hear you nonetheless. Thank you so much for coming here on Sidebar.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, for anybody who's not familiar with you or what you're trying to do,
listen, this is Epstein's brother.
What your position is regarding the death of your brother, Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, when I first heard that my brother was dead, I actually heard it on CNN. The government did not notify
Epstein's
me,
brother, listen.
I thought, okay, he killed himself. At the time, I had no reason to doubt it, and I just figured that was his decision, and I respected it. I grieved the loss of a brother, but it was his decision. But then, after the autopsy was done and all the other information started coming out, it became apparent that it was not a suicide. When you looked at
hit the like button, you guys. Thank you.
The photographs we have of the body, the details of the mark on his neck, compared to the way they said he was hanging, nothing matches up. If you looked at all of these facts and evidence, you would not come up with the conclusion that it was a suicide, other than the fact that Bill Barr made that ridiculous statement about it being a suicide, and the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, overrode the actual pathology of the autopsy and declared it a suicide.
Let's just talk about that for a second. So I want to understand the timeline of this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you retain Dr. Michael Bodden to conduct the autopsy here?
I Dr. Michael Bodden to witness the autopsy. The autopsy was performed by the city pathologist. I, as a family member, have the right to have my own pathologist be there and to conduct an autopsy once the body is claimed, if we deemed it was necessary.
And the reason I ask you that is because you just said a second ago you thought that your brother's death was a suicide, you were mourning his loss, but there seemed to be something to indicate to you, I want a second opinion to someone to observe the autopsy, right? What was the reason you thought that?
Well, because in speaking with his attorneys, they had a suicide, and they were sort of surprised that he did it. So we figured let's cover the bases and make sure we have somebody there as well. Because one of the things that's not been out there much is that a few days after his death, there was a hearing scheduled to appeal the decision for bail. The first time when he was first arrested, his attorneys asked me if I would participate in his bail. And I said, yes. I said, put up my house in Florida. I knew my brother wasn't a flight risk.
There was no reason for him to unalive himself.
And then bail was denied, which is why he was in jail. And then they were going to appeal the decision for bail. And Jeffrey was putting up a pretty big bail. And they asked me for the appeal if I would guarantee his bail. And I agreed, in essence, doubling it. So there was a chance he might have gotten bail. And that hearing was scheduled in, I think, for the 12th. In a couple of days. So then I'm thinking, if he was going to kill himself, would he wait to after the bail hearing? Because if he got bail, he'd be living in his house with an ankle monitor.
That's true, Neo Sapiens.
Cameras, so he wouldn't disappear anywhere. Not that I thought he would try. And then if bail was denied again, then it would be a more compelling argument for him to.
That is true, Queen Gloria Brown.
A few days before the bail hearing makes no sense at all.
So do you have a theory?
This is Epstein's brother telling what really happened. He doesn't believe his brother unalived himself.
Do you have a theory as to what happened here?
Yes, my theory is that this was a targeted assassination. I believe somebody was planted on that tier as an inmate because the Justice Department regularly plants
hit the like button, please. Thank you.
Either for to put snitches in to get information from prisoners, or to put undercover agents in to build a backstory. So the Justice Department can plant people in the prison. So I believe, and I had been told early in the game that cell doors were left unlocked that night on the tier. I don't know how many or whose, but I've been trying to find out what other prisoners were on the tier that night. There was only 11 or 12 prisoners on that tier. So it's not like we're looking through thousands of people. And I would like to know who they were, when did they get there? Because if somebody was on the tier for 6 months already, he obviously was not a plant. And then after the death, a lot of prisoners were transferred off of that ward. So I'd like to find out who was on that tier.
This is Epstein's brother talking, you all.
Do they actually exist?
So I guess the counter argument to that would be is if someone really wanted to kill Jeffrey Epstein, right? They had to assume he was about to talk and give information about some high profile people. Otherwise, what would be the incentive to kill him? Did you ever get an understanding from your brother that he was going to talk about anything, that he was going to be, be a government witness? I mean, because I'm trying to understand what the motivation would be for him to be murdered in prison.
Well, I believe you're right. Again, that's which I tend not to do. Yes, Jeffrey did have, I didn't speak to Jeffrey while he was in prison.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to Jeffrey was the night before he flew home when he got arrested. He called me from France, and we just had a normal conversation. And the next day he came home and he was arrested. And that's the last time I spoke to him. I did not see him in prison.
And he gave you no indication he was about to be arrested or anything like that?
No, he didn't know. Nobody knew he was going to be arrested because back in the early decade prior, roughly, when he got in trouble
Epstein's
in
brother.
Florida, when he made his deal, whatever that deal was, he had a non-prosecution agreement with the government. He was all behind him. All of these charges, the current charges, came from back then. There was no new current charges. So he thought he was free of that because of the non-prosecution agreement. And I believe that was going to be his main defense.
Mark, my question to you is, you were going to be putting up the bail for him, but you said you didn't speak to him in prison, in jail. How come?
Well, it's a limited amount of people who can get to him in prison to talk to him, and the calls
Thank you, King Daniel.
to make for him to talk to his attorneys. They're limited phone calls and limited contact, so let him use it for what he needed. Yeah, and his attorney.
Thank you, Make her well fiction. Again, thank you.
Now, again, no indication from your relationship
Thank you,
with your
King
brother
Warren
that he would have ever killed
Entertainment.
himself. And because Efrain Stone Reyes, he became Epstein, your brother's new assigned roommate. He was transferred, my understanding, less than 24 hours prior to your brother's death. He was transferred to a different facility. He actually died in 2020, but he made the statement once that your brother didn't want to live anymore. So, I completely understand what you're saying, where if your brother was going to kill himself, why not wait till after the bail hearing? But also somebody who's in that position locked away.
It didn't make sense for Epstein to unalive himself. That's why it's not believable.
I'm curious what your reaction was to that statement.
Well, it's curious that he was transferred out a day before.
Thank you so
the death.
much, King Daniel.
Why was he transferred away? The prison psychologists that were talking to Jeff had no indication that he was going to kill himself. He was actually on a suicide watch after what they thought was an earlier suicide attempt, which was not a suicide attempt, and he was taken off of the suicide watch. So nobody else seemed to think he was going to do harm to himself, and everybody, his attorneys, and people he was friendly with that were in contact with him, nobody thought that this was going to happen. This was a surprise. Like I said, I don't know what motivated the guy to say that. I would imagine that every prisoner in there, at some point or another, contemplates suicide. I would imagine the normal thought amongst prisoners.
Now, to be clear, Dr. Bodden, who we mentioned, he didn't believe that the injuries were consistent with a suicide. He said there were these two breaks on each side of the thyroid cartilage. One on the left side, he says, occurs much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. And he said, I've not seen in 50 years where that occurred in a suicidal hanging case. But you mentioned the New York chief medical examiner, Dr. Barbara Sampson.
Listen to this part, y'all.
The cause of death is suicide. She said, though, she's been able to review additional evidence. We don't know what that evidence is. Do you think she's not telling the truth, or do you think she viewed something that you just haven't seen yet?
Well, she's never said what that supposed evidence is. Now, understand something, too. When the autopsy was done, both the city pathologist who did the autopsy...
This is Epstein's brother speaking, you all.
...said it looks more like a homicide than a suicide. So on the initial
death certificate... Thank you, King Mr. Yu.
It said
Thank
pending,
you.
Meaning pending further investigation under the cause of death section. Normally, Dr. Bodden said it takes weeks to change a pending determination to an actual cause. We've been trying to find out.
Thank you, Garden Lady. Thank you, Queen.
What position, or close to 4 years, what position his body was in when it was found. Because the autopsy showed he was dead for at least 2 hours when they found him. So he wasn't coming back. And they're not supposed to move a dead body until the medical examiner gets there, because there's a lot of evidence just on the dead body itself. But he was taken out and brought to the infirmary. When the EMTs came after the 911 call, Jeff was already in the infirmary. They didn't go to the cell. I only found this out just the latter part of last year.
Again, those of you just coming in, this is Epstein's brother speaking.
The way he was found, it doesn't match the actual body results. The mark on his neck, the ligature mark from whatever was used to strangle him, I'm going to use that word, is in the middle of his neck, and it sort of goes straight back, as if You put a rope around somebody's neck.
Thanos, this is Epstein's brother speaking. Epstein's, from the Epstein files. He doesn't believe his brother unalived himself. He believed that it was a hit on his brother. And we believe that somebody that was in the office at that time had something done to Epstein.
Which means most of his body weight was hanging by the ligature. Well, that ligature should have ridden up high underneath his chin and back up like behind his ears to the knot, the tie where it was tied to the top bunk. But the mark on his neck is not consistent with that description of how he was found. Also, if he was hanging that way for 2 hours or more, it could have been 6 hours.
Yes, that is true, King Daniel.
Then the
because they were scared he's going to talk.
Should have had blood pooling in him.
And the only person that was benefiting from
your blood is not
Epstein being unalive is somebody with an orange face.
So if you die laying on your back becomes blotchy from the blood pooling under the skin. So it's called lividity. So
hit the like button, please. Thank you.
Have lividity, should have blotchiness on the back.
We have so much more that I have to show you guys. That was Epstein's brother saying that he does not believe his brother unalived himself. Nor do I believe that. I do not believe it. Because he had a hearing coming up for bail. If anything, if he was denied his bail, he would have did it after the bail. Why would he do it beforehand? When his brother, was putting up his property, and Epstein was putting up several properties for him to get out on a bail, on a bond. So it didn't make sense. No one believes this man actually did this to himself. No matter what Bundy, Cash Patel with the funny eyes and make us dizzy when we look at him, no matter what they tell us, they will not brainwash the American people to fall for their lies. Okay, we're going to listen to Cash Patel. See, he said one thing before. Now he's in there in Donald Trump's cabinet. He's giving us a whole new story. So listen to what Cash Patel has to say now. One moment, please. Thank you.
Right before he started.
It's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They are sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word?
This is Cash Patel. Hit the like button. Thank you.
And that it can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. And we can't even get basic documents out. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get.
I think a lot of people are. Yeah, I sure think a lot of people are. I don't know what to say. Either he has a target or his family got bought out. I don't know, man. I wonder why.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
That is that. I mean, there's
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. On day one, roll out the Black Book.
But just the other day, Pam Bundy said there is no list. Cash Patel said himself there's a black book with the list. Who's telling the truth, y'all? None of them. Now Cash Patel is on the side of Bundy and Dunny Boy. He's lying right along with them that there's no list. But he just said there's a black book. That black book has Dunny's name in it, and they would not be releasing that. Why would Dunny investigate himself when he knows he's in that black book? He is on the travel log. Hold on, I'm going to show you the travel log because more going to be discussed about that as well. I'm going to show you the travel log. One moment. Just a moment, you guys, because I made sure I saved that. Just a moment. Give me just a moment. I've saved so much stuff. Hold on, beautiful people. Hold on just a moment. Donald Trump is not going to investigate himself. That's not going to happen on his watch. Oh, and I know I saved it. Y'all, I saved so much stuff, but I have to show y'all that. Because he can lie all he wants to. He's on the travel log. And that comes from the FBI. Hold on, y'all. I have to go in my thing and find it again just to show y'all. Hold on, because I have it saved on my iPad. Just a moment, beautiful people. I have that travel log saved. So Donnie can pretend all he wants, and that comes from the FBI files. Midas Touch Network, those attorneys, they showed it was in the FBI files, and Donald Trump's name is all over it. So he can just stop his lies, because we're smart enough to know better. We are not falling for Donnie lies, are we? We're not doing it. We're not doing it, Donald Trump. This is a travel log. This is it. And if you see what circle, that is Donald Trump's name where he signed in. The travel log. Donnie signed himself in. And those are not the only pages. He's in denial because there's more coming up about it. And he has to lie because there's teenagers involved. Hold on.
Donald Trump is trying to cover up his despicable, disgusting, dark past. And I'm glad that the Democrats are not letting him get away with it. The Democrats are focused on it and going on the offense. Donald Trump is trying to bury his involvement with Epstein. As you know by now, the Trump DOJ is claiming that the Epstein list never existed. No such thing as the
Hit
Epstein
the like
list,
button, please.
despite,
Thank you.
of course, Attorney General Pam Bondi saying the list and the files are on her desk. She was ready to release it. She brought in the MAGA influencers to the White House in February. They held up a binder that said phase 1, there's going to be phase 2, phase 3, other phases. The list was going to be released. And by the way, Donald Trump and his son, Don Jr., and Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, and all of the MAGA leadership and MAGA influencers, they were saying this list is going to be released. And what have I been saying? You know, I've been covering this basically like every single day. I said, ain't happening, because Donald Trump's going to be all over it. I know where you would look if you wanted to get Donald Trump's involvement with Epstein.
Listen, this is how I got it.
I know? You just follow the facts. Donald Trump is DOE 174 in the civil cases. Okay, so I want all of the files relating to DOE 174. Let's find out Donald Trump's involvement in those sealed records. It would be very easy for us to get that. At Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking trial, Donald Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. I wish her well, Donald Trump said. Well, there was a woman who was 14 years old at the time when she was introduced
I
to Donald
showed y'all
Trump
this
by Epstein,
information.
and Ghislaine Maxwell is what she testified to. Let's see her under seal grand jury testimony. Let's see all of the documents relating to that Jane Doe. Produce them, turn them over. Also, let's take a look at all of the other documents regarding Epstein's connections to Mar-a-Lago. There are real connections there. He would hang out at Mar-a-Lago all the time. He used Mar-a-Lago as one of the bases to find girls to sex traffic. Virginia Giuffre, who recently died by suicide, was trafficked out of Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine Maxwell found her working there, underage, 17 years old, where she was previously homeless.
At Mar-a-Lago.
Epstein, and then the rest is
Unfortunately, the most despicable, disgusting, sickening situation you could imagine, as Epstein then trafficked her and took her from Mar-a-Lago. You don't have to listen to me and go, hey, Ben, I always come with receipts. I always come with receipts. Here is what Virginia Giuffre said when she was alive about how she was found by Epstein at Mar-a-Lago and then she was trafficked. Graphic language, but this is the reality. Here, play this clip.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob, how to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself. And being a woman, it kind of surprises you that a woman could actually let stuff like that happen, but not only let it happen, but to groom you into doing it. And then there's Jeffrey who's telling you, I want it this way. No, go slower and don't do that and do this.
So one of the things the Trump regime is doing to cover up,
y'all, these are facts.
The news cycle is they think they're going to get away with
because
it.
We're not going to fall for
Epstein
Bundy and Donald Trump's BS. We're not doing it.
File. They released surveillance footage that's missing a minute. And they go, oh, nothing we can do there. Just missing a minute that these things happen. Well, they then do the following. This is what the DOJ does. They think we're going to be distracted. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, goes, they're really throwing everything out there today to distract from Epstein. Breaking. White House waives executive privilege for Biden doctor Kevin O'Connor in cover-up probe. Fox,
hit the like button. Thank you, guys.
Kevin O'Connor's covering up something about Biden. Dude, Donald Trump can't even speak in sentences. He can't complete. He's just saying a bunch of word mush together. So don't give me anything about Biden being cognitive anything. Biden spoke in sentences. Biden was old, but Biden spoke in sentences and had competent people around him. Oh, and by the way, should I bring out more receipts on Trump? He said Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Trump's been found liable for sexual assault. Donald Trump's on camera bragging about sexually assaulting women. He says when you're rich, you get away with it. Donald Trump's on multiple videos partying with Jeffrey Epstein. He's all over Epstein's flight log. He's all over Epstein's call log. He's in the depositions of women who were trafficked by Epstein who mentioned that Epstein's going to go to Atlantic City and see Donald Trump. Trump flew in Epstein's jet, not just in the past. Recently, that was Donald Trump's campaign airplane. He campaigned in Epstein's jet. They remade it, or they wrapped it with Trump 2024, but it was Epstein's jet.
But he said he doesn't know Epstein.
You could have picked any other jet. You're picking Epstein's jet? What the hell is going on here? Here's the letter from the Democrats right here that they sent yesterday. A bunch of Democrats signed it. Here's what they say. It's a letter to Pam Bondi. 5 months ago, the Department of Justice dismissed the pending case against Walter Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, depriving the American public of an opportunity to hear the evidence of how they conspired with Donald Trump to help him stash hundreds of classified records at Mar-a-Lago, defy subpoenas, obstruct law enforcement, hide evidence, and lie about his continuing retention of these records. Since then, you've continued to seal evidence about Donald Trump. Democrats talking about the cover-up of Walter Nauta, of documents there, saying we're not going to get distracted, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Nauta, it doesn't matter. Here's what they're saying on CNN. Massive trove of evidence regarding Jeffrey Epstein's being hidden from the public by the Trump administration, according to CNN. Elon Musk says that Bannon is in the Epstein files. That's what Elon Musk is posting right now, and it seems that there is a massive cover-up. Have you seen this one right here? This is the Pam Bondi in action figure AI with the Epstein files just sitting there on her desk. So let's go through with a few of these things, shall we? So this was yesterday. Pam Bondi says she's asked, so what were you saying to Fox when you said you had the files on your desk? Watch her just kind of be so utterly flustered here playing this clip.
First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK.
That's not what you said,
files
bad
as well.
body built
That's what I
blonde.
meant by that.
Now here is Pam Bondi trying to explain why a minute was deleted from the surveillance footage outside of Epstein's
Hit the
prison
like
cell.
button as
Here,
you're
play this
coming
clip.
in. Thank
And the
you.
minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
You know this is an issue
That's not going to stop us saying that's it. We're going to keep digging.
I recently got life insurance for my family when I realized, Ben, what are you doing? You're not protecting your family. That Epstein was working as a foreign agent, basically to blackmail rich men with the list. Here's what Pam Bondi said.
I've heard that before.
An agent. I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that.
And here was Donald Trump's response yesterday at this disastrous press conference. Let's play it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Johnny wants y'all to shut up.
We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
He hasn't even been to
Are people
Texas.
still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean,
I love Ben. He's the best.
At a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Oh, but let's see. What did Don
He
Jr.
did
say in
Victoria's one. He played
2024?
them.
Oh, yes, that's right. Here, play this clip.
I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible.
Hit the like button as you're coming in. Thank you.
It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
And here on Fox, you have Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's top propagandist, trying to say, oops, we're moving on. We're now doing the criminal probe against James Comey and John Brennan.
We're not moving on,
FBI
Leavitt.
director,
Caroline,
and the
we're
former
not moving
CIA
on.
director. The truth must come out. The truth must come out. We're focusing on the real investigation. It's Comey and Brennan, everybody. Y'all think that we're stupid and we're falling for this? Here, play this clip.
There's obviously something to that. We just heard Caroline. I don't know if you saw the top of the show. It looks like there has been an investigation opened up into James Comey and John Brennan.
Distractions.
Possibly lying to Congress in a conspiracy over the Russia hoax. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I just heard that news at the top of your show, and I'm glad to hear it, because both of these disgraceful individuals turned against our Constitution and our country, and I'm sure they did, in fact, lie to Congress, and it's up to the Department of Justice to investigate that and to prosecute them if they did. And what we have seen is corruption at the highest levels against President Trump. The deep state threw everything at him to prevent him from coming back.
Y'all, they would throw every distraction there is out there to stop us from knowing the truth about the Epstein files. We cannot allow it. We can't allow it, y'all. We cannot allow them to play with our minds like that. That's how MAGA end up in the situation they in. They voted for him because he hypnotized them. And that's why we're in the situation we're in today with this big, beautiful bill. We cannot allow them to play in our face. One moment, please. More on Epstein.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking.
Hit the like button, my people, beautiful people. Hit the like button. Thank you.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
For months now, U.S.
That was his
Attorney
best
General
friend. He
Pam
called
Bondi
a
had
creep.
promised the release of documents on the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, which she said could reveal damaging details. She drummed up anticipation over the files, which have long been a source of speculation and conspiracy theories. But on Monday this week, a memo by the Justice Department undercut the Attorney General's statements, pouring cold water on these baseless claims. It amounted to a conclusion which was reached many years ago by investigators. The crux of the conclusion is that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself while he was in a Manhattan jail awaiting trial. This is what the memo said, and I quote, "The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. The Justice Department did not uncover any evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties," unquote.
Donnie Boy said, y'all will never
Since
see
his
those
death in
files.
2019, the case of Jeffrey Epstein has become
We
a
all know
popular
Donnie is a
obsession
criminal
for
and a
segment
con.
of Trump's MAGA supporters. Some of them have accused two of Trump's senior-most advisors, Pam Bondi, who is the Attorney General, and the FBI Director, Kash Patel, of slow-walking the review and the release of the Epstein files. A release of related documents back in February, which Bondi once again had hyped up, fell flat.
Hit the like button. Thank you.
As much of the information in those files was already in the public domain. While many had been waiting for what Bondi declared,
this is my channel. Don't come on here telling me what to do. I'm going to give you the truth while Donald Trump lies in your face. You don't like what I say? Leave my channel. Thank you.
This was at the hallway.
Hit the like button on your way out.
Except that the
I can't hate Donald Trump is a twisted freak.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with
That's not what you
JFK
said, pale girl.
files as well.
That's not what you said, blonde, bad body built.
Tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were.
Oh, Trump like listening to that. Listen, look at his face.
The video released by Bondi and Patel appears to have a missing minute just before midnight that night.
Bad
the
editing.
The clock on the screen jumps from 11:58 p.m. to 12 midnight. Officials do not exactly have an explanation for this apparent gap and this drop of a minute.
We released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999.
Hello, Queen Ashley 12.
The video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So
let me tell y'all something. Don't let them fool you. They're gonna continue to lie. That's how Donald Trump got in the office from lies. Don't let them fool you. We're not gonna continue to allow them to play in our faces, y'all. We can't do it. We gotta stop this regime. We cannot stop it if we continue to allow them to play in our face. Elon Musk is already talking. A battery went dead on my mic. Could y'all hear me? I'm sorry. I'm going to continue talking about this daily because new stuff is coming out every day. Because Donald Trump is a walking billboard for some BS, a walking billboard for a loser, a walking billboard for a 34-count felony, a walking billboard for a criminal that's married to an immigrant. He said he want to get rid of the immigrants and the criminals. Well, you better start in your household. Melania Trump is an immigrant. Donald Trump, you are a criminal. Bye. Leave this country. You said you want to get rid of the immigrants and the criminals. Start with you and your wife.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really
That's the
believe
Republican
that now with Cash
Party.
and Pam, there will be accountability. But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So
Well, girl, that means you need to just get up and go ahead and tell the truth on Donnie Boy, because y'all have not held Donald Trump accountable for anything. This man, since he's been in the Oval Office, he has been doing nothing but breaking the law. He has went against the Constitution. But then y'all will stand there, even Levitt, Caroline Levitt, will stand there at the podium and say that Donald Trump is a man of the law, the man of the Constitution. That's a lie, and the truth is not in any of you Republican MAGA party. You continue to lie. Now it's getting so bad that Alex Jones, a MAGA, is like kick rocks.
You'll throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity. And
he knows Donald Trump is lying. He is MAGA.
I just really need
Alex Jones is MAGA from head to toe.
They're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this, it tears my guts out. So I'm gonna go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years.
Alex Jones is a MAGA to his bones. He too knows that Bundy is lying. Cash Patel is lying. Donald J. Trump is a compulsive liar. His own people are sick of him. Hold on. Now I can't play it. It has music. Give me one moment. I saw something earlier with Marjorie Taylor Greene, what she has to say. Hold on, please. Just a moment. Hit the like button. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I say something that Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, here it is. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to read it to you because Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is against Donald Trump right now as well. So MAGA be mad at her too. She's part of you. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says, what about the little black book? The 97-page book contains the names, contact details of almost 2,000 people, including world leaders, celebrities, businessmen. No one believes there is no client list. That comes from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's true to it. She's MAGA up and down, head to toe. She stands 10 toes down and being MAGA. And she do not believe Donald Trump and who? Bundy. Nor does she believe Cash Patel. When you look at him, you get dizzy because his eyes. No one is believing you, Donald Trump. Your people do not believe you. They're turning their back on you, Donnie. What are you going to do? How can you believe a man, instead of going to Texas and seeing about his citizens that voted for him, he's busy eating ice cream and golfing? Hold on. I'm going to start it over because I can't play the music. Look at Donald Trump, what he's doing. While Texas is suffering, he's eating ice cream and golfing. That's what the blubber butt is doing. This is what Courier Newsroom says. Trump enjoys golf and ice cream while Texas parents continue searching for their missing children. Donnie ain't even been to Texas, y'all. He has showed y'all so many times that he does not care about the American citizens. When Puerto Rico had their bad storm to come through, what did Donald Trump do? He threw paper towels at them, and they are still not back as a whole. When I went to Puerto Rico just recently, y'all, it's sad. Donald Trump didn't give them the funding that they need to rebuild. And he's doing the same thing because FEMA, he took away the funding. FEMA can't even help the people in Texas. That's not fair to the American people, and those people voted for Donald Trump. Ed G said same thing Biden was doing, eating ice cream. Let me tell you something. I'll guarantee you Biden did not let the citizens suffer without their FEMA. He went to the people when things happened, when it was about time for Donald Trump to come in and take the Oval Office. He went and did Donald Trump show up for the people that was unalive by a MAGA fool just recently? No. President Joe Biden and VP Kamala Harris went to that senator and her husband's funeral and the other senator's funeral as well, the memorial. Donald Trump did not go because he does not care about the American people. And when are y'all going to understand what this man is doing to this country? He doesn't care. One moment.
It's 4 a.m. Eastern time, and Elon Musk is going nuclear on Donald Trump over the FBI and the DOJ announcing that there is no
hit the like button. Thank you, guys.
At 3:12 in the morning,
come
Elon
on, give
Musk
me 4 more.
Meme
come
going
on.
directly
Thank
at
you.
The Trump administration saying, we will release the Epstein list, then we just need more time, then the Epstein list is on my desk, which is what the Attorney General claimed.
This is Elon Musk doing.
Epstein list. It's making fun of the evolution where Trump was like, yeah, we're going to release it, to, sorry, there's nothing to release. And then in response to that post, this account said, what happened to the client list is on my desk, what happened to the files part 2.
Thank you.
What happened to those magical binders? What a farce. Elon Musk said, this is the final straw, which is very cryptic. I wonder what he means by that, but interesting nonetheless. And then in response to the DOJ memo saying that they have no evidence of these things, he said, so what is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for? Stuff like this does not improve people's faith in government. Now, let's be clear. There's overwhelming evidence against Ghislaine Maxwell. That's why she's in prison. But he's still kind of, unhappy here. All of these posts...
I get what Elon is saying. If there's a list and she's locked up, release it. Now, you saying there's no list, then this woman should not be locked up, which I know she's a criminal. And I don't like when people take advantage of children, because I was taken advantage of as a child and through my teen years. There's no way I'm going to be on her side. It would never happen. But if you cannot produce the client list for the American citizens to see, you must release this lady. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Come on, do the right thing. You can't hold somebody without showing what really happened. And you promised Bundy, Donald Trump, you said the Martin Luther King files, which black people don't care, but leave it alone. All the black people say they want you to just stop with that. We don't want it. You even remove, Donald Trump has went as far to remove the you know how they had the heads of the past presidents at the Oval Office? He took it and moved Martin Luther King's away to another spot where it won't be seen. So stop pretending that you care about Martin Luther King's files being released. Kick rocks, Donnie. Kick rocks all the way down the street till you bust your toes wide open. Donald Trump never wanted those files released. Never. He sat in line and said, oh, we're going to make sure that the Martin Luther King files are released. We're going to make sure that JFK files are released. We're going to make sure the Epstein files, when they asked him about the Epstein files, he said, well, yeah, but we got to just make sure that, they don't, and not release and hurt people that shouldn't be hurt. He was talking about himself because he's in the files. I just showed y'all a couple of minutes the flight log that he signed his name to. Couple times. Donald Trump and Pam Bundy are two cons that's playing in the American people's face. Oh, that's playing music. I can't show you that. Every time I want to show you something that has music, we can't show you music.
Musk is still going after Donald Trump for refusing to release any more documents on Epstein. He's just not letting
This
Donald
is today,
Trump move
y'all.
past this. In a new post on Twitter, Elon said, "How can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release these files?" And there's so much wrong with this. Number one, Elon Musk is the guy who spent hundreds of millions of dollars to get Trump elected. So you didn't see this coming? And also, number two, why would anybody have faith in Donald Trump, period? Like on any topic. He consistently lies, but especially on this one, when he was like best friends with this guy for decades. He then confirmed that the Epstein file releases would be high on the priority list for the America Party that he's looking to start, which is also a direct dig at Donald Trump. But it's so fascinating to watch this all take place. Not only is MAGA turning on Donald Trump, but people like Elon Musk might be waking up to the reality that Trump is a liar. Like, he doesn't follow through with his promises, he'll say anything to get elected, and he doesn't actually care about anybody. Elon Musk is...
I told y'all, Donald Trump doesn't care about the American citizens. We should not be shocked by anything that this monstrous man in the Oval Office does. We cannot be surprised. We must prepare for what is coming.
Check this out. Elon Musk just went after Donald Trump again and said that Trump is going to bankrupt the country. On Twitter or X just a moment ago, this random MAGA user said, at Elon Musk, "Please tell us what made you go from loving DJT as much as a straight man can love another to taking swipes towards him and his efforts. There had to be one thing that caused this change. What was it?" Then Elon Musk responded to this guy by saying, "Increasing the deficit from an already $2 trillion under Biden to 2.5 trillion. This will bankrupt the country." It seems like Elon Musk is now just realizing that Donald Trump doesn't actually care about reducing spending or reducing the deficit or, quite frankly, anything that he promised on the campaign trail. I wonder if Elon has any amount of regret, because he gave hundreds of millions of dollars from his own wallet to Donald Trump based on these promises, and now Trump is doing the exact opposite by adding trillions of dollars to the debt. I thought Elon Musk would know this by now, but Elon, take this as a lesson. This is what happens when you embrace a con man. I'm gonna go break.
This is from King Ed. He says, this is what Ed G says. Thank you for sponsoring me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for blessing me with this tip for $9.99. He said, "Wake up, dummy. It's a lot of Dems on the list too. That's why it hasn't been released." I'm not going to read. If you're going to insult me, I'm not going to read any more of it, because I could be cruel to you, because the others in my chat know that I would be so mean to break you down to where you're in tears. But I'm not going to do that to you, Ed. I'm going to respect you. Just hold your crown carefully so I don't knock it off your head. Hold your crown. You're a king, aren't you? Hold your crown carefully. I prefer to be kind and loving like Jesus Christ wants us to be. But y'all get on here and y'all test me. Don't test me. You have a beautiful day, okay, Ed? I want to, because y'all know when I read a person down till they got to hide in Donald Trump's pissy depends. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather walk in love and grace or say something so bad it's going to break your face. I don't want to do that. Let's walk in love and grace, beautiful ones. I love y'all. One moment.
Donald Trump is trying to cover up his despicable, disgusting, dark past.
Oh, I showed y'all that already. I apologize. Sorry about that. Hold on.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Y'all, I showed y'all that too. I didn't realize I pretty much have showed y'all all the research I've done today. Yes, somebody said in the comments, so now y'all like Epstein? Long as Epstein gonna do the work, the Lord's work, I like him. Yes, I do. Long as he gonna do the Lord's work, I like him, because Donald Trump and his fake Bible, he don't put his name on, and he was never in the Bible of Jesus Christ. So how he gonna just add himself in there? How? But I guess Donald Trump says, well, my ancestors, they've been changing the Bible, and you black people sitting there reading as slaves anyway, so deal with it. All right, all right, all right. I guess Donnie right then, huh? Anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, King Lenny. We got a lot of work to do. I'm going to continue doing my research, and I'm going to go even harder tomorrow because MAGA is in here coming for my neck. They coming for my neck, but you can't stop me. You can't stop all this natural beauty of a black woman. From head to toe, real hair, everything. Mine, baby. You come on here and look at this beauty, and then you try to bash all this beautiful black beauty. Then you go home to your wife, and you tell her, baby, hand me your hand. Let's go on in the bedroom. And while you're in there with your wife, you imagine it is me. That black woman with that nice curves and that round and that long, beautiful black hair, you wishing it's me. When you kiss her paper-thin lips, you wish it was my natural full lips in my pretty white teeth that you want to lick. You want to lick. So when you on her, you're thinking about me. So keep coming on over here and send me a super chat, and I tell you what you want to hear, baby. Yes, I will. I want to thank each and every last one of y'all for coming to my live. Without y'all, I would not be able to do this. And because of you come here, even the ones that's coming on here bashing me daily. King Ed says, you're not you directly, just saying if you believe only GOP members. No, I don't believe that. You're right. You're right, King Ed. There's more than just the Republicans on there. Yes, that's true. I know that, and you're right. But my thing, I'm talking about Donald Trump, who denied he even knew Epstein. And then his cabinet, DOJ, bad body built blonde, like Margaret Taylor Greene, Pam Bundy, she's lying after she has told the American people that she had the list on her desk. You saw it come from her lips. Yes, I said that, but that's not what I mean. Well, boo-boo, that's what you told the American people. And you stood 10 toes down in it because you said it a couple of times in different news interviews. So y'all got to hold Bundy accountable, MAGA. Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding Donald Trump, Bundy, and Cash Patel accountable. We are in a time in life where we have to hold those Congress people accountable because they too, going along with the BS of Donald J. Trump, is destroying this country. So stay out of my chat saying that Donald Trump is doing a good job. How? Tell him to go help the people in Texas. He ain't lift his hands to. Who he sent? Kristi Noem, the one that's cosplaying to be some strong military person that never even been in the military more than likely. Like Donald Trump had bone spores and his sons. When the draft comes, sit down. Y'all are down 10 toes down for a person that would never even look your way. Donald Trump wouldn't even breathe on you or spit on you if you were on fire. Get off the slow bus. Get on the educated bus with people that actually got education and know what they're talking about. And not lying to you about the Epstein files. Because Donnie and Cash Patel and the blonde, bad body built Pam Bundy is lying in your face. Daily, they get on his Truth Social, get on the news, and stand at them podiums, sit in the Oval Office and lie to you daily, and you just eat it up because you like the smell of his pissy depends. Oh, you getting high off that pissy smell. Just like skunk piss while you up there in the mountains, hillbilly land, huh? You love hillbilly land. So you're used to this funky, pissy smell. So when Donald Trump come near you, you just embrace him because you like that slimy, pissy depends that he wears. And you like his poop smell. You're getting out from it. You're sick, MAGA. You need to be at a psychiatrist sitting on the sofa talking to the lady. You need to be. But I can't help you. But you can keep coming on over here, though. Because I believe you're just grasping a little bit of what I'm putting out there. What I'm putting out there on your plate, you eating it, wishing it was me, don't you? Because y'all, Nat Turner, your people ate Nat Turner, remember? So you imagine every time you eat me, and your husband, honey, trust me, when he come on here and looking at me, he wishing I was actually the one he's eating, but he can't get me. So he just comes over here and look at me every day because he want to lick my beautiful white teeth. And he want his paper thin lips to touch my full, beautiful, real lips. And he want to touch these beautiful, nice hips that God blessed me with. So MAGA, when you coming over here hating on me, girl, your men have always liked black women. A black woman can just talk to them and they'll get their money up and never get the candy. That's how bad I am. I'm good at what I do. So be kind when you come in my chat so I don't have to break you down mentally. And then you question your husband or your wife. Because let me tell you something, you MAGA men, every time you come over here and mess with me, a black man got your wife bent over with that nice, big eggplant that will make you feel so good. Be kind. So I can be loving and walk the way that God want me to walk. Because I can't get to heaven fighting with y'all every day. That's why I try not to read some of the comments. Y'all want me to put you in the headlock with my words. I want to let you breathe. I want to let you breathe to live another day. Daddy don't care if you live another day. That's why he's taking your Medicaid. You need that oxygen tank. Daddy taking it from you. I'm trying to help you get that money back and that funding back so you can breathe a little longer and live a couple more days. Because you know y'all age fast like old grapes. You want to live another day? Keep coming on over here to me, baby. Keep coming on over here. Looking at this beautiful face, this long, luscious hair, and my beautiful white teeth that God blessed me with. Keep coming. You like looking at my lips? I know you do. And y'all MAGA girls admire my lips. You go get your lips filled, honey. I don't have to. So come on over here and learn something from me. I love you guys. May God continue to bless you. Hit that like button before you leave up out of here. All right, all right, all right. Enjoy your evening. Eat well. Say a long prayer tonight. Pray for this country. Pray that we love each other. Pray that we are kind to each other. Pray that you don't come in my chat and harass me daily so we can be we're becoming one and spreading love how God wants us to. Because God knows his child Lillie better than you. He know what venomous things can come from her tongue if you bother her. So let her spread love like our Lord and Savior spread love daily to all of us. The diversity is beautiful in America, okay? I love you guys. Goodbye.